Welcome back to the BCHS TV Bear Network. I'm your host, Gary Ownbey here. We're at Bradley Central High School once again, talking with some of the great folks here. Tell us about all the opportunities and extracurricular activities we can have here on campus with our students. Being joined now by two of our cheerleader sponsors. That's Miss Carrie Ivester to my left and Jennifer Moore to her left there. And I've introduced you as who you are, but let's start with you, Carrie. Tell them, the listeners and watchers, what you teach at Bradley and how long you've been here on staff.
I've been here this is my 10th year, and I teach chemistry, and I've taught Cambridge chemistry and then just regular and honors chemistry.
That's the tough stuff.
I love it though.
I can barely spell chemistry myself. And Jennifer?
I've been here for 10 years, and I teach math.
Another tough one for me. You know, you're not like some of the teachers or some of the coaches and people I talk to. You have those tough courses, and somebody's got to teach that, though, right? But you're both cheerleader sponsors. How long have you been a cheerleader sponsor?
I have been maybe 4 years with the varsity. I did JV before that.
Okay, and Jennifer, you've been doing
I've been coaching the varsity football cheerleaders for 9 years.
Did you cheer in your early days?
I sure
here
did.
At Bradley?
I went from Bradley Junior to Bradley High School. That's right. And then I came back, right back here to coach.
And Carrie, you're from Hawaii.
Yes.
You did not cheer in Hawaii. You
I
weren't
did
on a
not.
hula dancer or nothing.
No, I did not.
Well, now we have two different sponsors because we have two different, completely separate squads.
Right.
And Jennifer, what sports do your girls coach for?
Yeah, so
cheer for?
we cheer for the football team on Friday nights, and then we cheer for our wrestling team during the winter months.
So you go pretty much from the start of school, or the first month of school, all the way
Right.
into February.
Yeah, February wraps up, and we usually have to start our practices about April.
And Carrie, you go from November.
November. We start practices when school starts, but I do basketball for the Barretts and then the boys, and so we start practices in August. First game is usually November, around the end of November, until usually state tournament, because that's how it's been with the Barretts. So.
Well, that's always great. You know, the kids
Yeah.
love going there. I know you do too as well. How many students do you have involved in your program, Jennifer?
We have 18 girls on the squad.
18. And are they freshmen through seniors? or
Right,
they-
yeah. So we've started in the last few years on our varsity squads accepting freshmen. So we have freshmen through the senior level, right?
Okay. So I guess once they come in as a ninth grader, they probably have cheered in middle school.
Yeah,
somewhere,
typically we do. And we've had several come from a dance background who have been incredible cheerleaders for us as well.
probably. Okay. And are you about the same size? squad-wise?
16.
16.
Yeah, we're limited to 16 on the court, and so we only take 16. And same, most have done cheer in the past, but some dance or something very similar.
So you say you're limited, is that the TSSAA regulations?
When we go to
or-
state tournament, we can only have 16 on the court.
Oh, okay. I did not realize
And a
that.
mascot, but
And a mascot. Do you have a mascot, either one of you right now?
I do not.
Well, we have a tentative mascot, I believe. We have two, in fact, that are interested in football season. We typically like to have more than one. It gets very toasty in the bear. So for safety and for health reasons, we like to have them switch out at halftime. So yeah, we have one who's interested, who is a freshman, and we have another one who's a junior who's had some interest in it. So yeah.
Now, do you have to be the size to fit the bear costume, I suppose? So is it petite size?
Well, I think we can make just about anybody work.
Okay.
It's got some room in there.
I bet you couldn't get me in there.
Gary, if that's a challenge, I will accept it.
Oh, man. Okay, now, throughout the season, you're doing your home and away, and both of you are for your sports. Competition now, do you go to competition or camps or anything?
We go to camp, and that's the only competition we do is involved with our camp.
Where's it normally held at?
We go different
Where?
every year.
Oh, okay.
We've been to MTSU. This year we did not compete. We just stayed home. We've gone to UTK in the past.
And Jennifer?
Yeah, so we've been doing, for about 8 years, our FCA has a cheer camp. And they've been hosted all around the southeast region. So we've been to southern Georgia, and then more recently to Johnson University in Knoxville, and then of course Berry College. We've been there before. There was a time when UCA and FCA were kind of a joined operation, and that was at UTC, which was nice because it was easy to get there. But as of right now, that is it's a big part of our summer. It's what we do. And there is a competition feel to that camp because there's other squads there of different levels. And there's a competition feel there, but it's also very encouraging. And so the girls get to experience what it feels like to see other squads and their talents and their skills, but they also get to show off theirs. So we enjoy doing that.
Well, after they leave Bradley High School, obviously there's cheerleaders at college and all that. Can the cheerleader, if they're good enough, and I guess they would have to audition or try out at the university or college, so they get scholarships to do that kind of thing?
Oh yeah. We've had recently, I've got one at Tennessee Tech, another one who's went to Lee University, and so far we haven't seen a full ride, but I don't think many offer full rides right now. But there definitely is ways to help. Cheerleading involves a whole lot of time. It's almost like a job. And so a lot of the girls understand that if they're going to cheer, then that's going to be something they hope to get a little bit of compensation for it with all the time they spend doing it. So they often offer something.
And if you're going to be a cheerleader, it's like being on basketball, football team. You're committed. I mean, there's practice, and people don't understand.
Absolutely.
You don't just show up at ball game night and get out there and jump around and shout and lead the crowd into cheers.
Right.
There's a lot that goes on behind, the choreography, and I know you probably get cheers from off the internet and from other places that you do, and there's some you see pretty much over and over each year, but there's always some new twist. And people really don't understand how athletic these girls are, the tumbling and and all the different things. I don't even know what they call them, but you see them out there.
Yeah.
And, an old guy like me says, oh, I could do that. Of course, I'm just kidding, but I don't see how they do that. They up in the air and do the back spins and flips and all that. I guess they're talented, or they're young and agile enough to do that.
They're very talented, but it's interesting. It's a lot of it is the mental game. You've got to have a great deal of confidence knowing that you can perform that skill, and it's scary to throw yourself backward and hope to land. I mean, that can be a scary thing. So a lot of the girls, when it comes to their physical ability, have the talent. So some of our coaching is more on that mental end, helping them remind themselves that they've got the confidence and ability to do it, so do it.
Well, I know in basketball, the inevitable, every time out, somebody's back flipping down the floor.
Yes.
And
we've had a couple fall, but they get back up and they go back out there. I make them go back out. So, but I mean, they're great and they love doing it. So, yeah.
Well, it sounds like both of you enjoy being their leader. And you sort of mother, mentor to them, I guess.
Absolutely.
You hear all the boyfriend issues and whatever else is going on in their life, I'm sure, all the time. And let me ask you too here, Carrie, if you're selecting someone and they're on your squad, you have an expectation of behavior, academics, character, integrity, all the things that, because they're representing Bradley Central, they're out there and they're just like a ball player. If they do something that TSSAA regards as an issue or a violation, then it comes down on the school, just like it would for a ball player.
Yes, we have like our academic standards, and I think ours are both very similar. Like in order to try out, you have to meet the academic standards. But even with basketball, you are so close to the court. You say or do anything that can hurt the teams, and I have to be strict on them, being certain distance away, saying stuff, especially because the refs are right there. I mean, they could get a technical for us. They are part of that game because they are being seen by everyone, and so I have to be tough on them about that. And they know that. They sometimes get a little involved in the game and cheering, but, we've got to bring them back in and say, listen, you're a part of this. You can't, go too crazy.
You got to bite their tongue and just cheer because they're repping in school, that's what it is. And I know coming up at some point during the year, you'll have a time for tryouts, and it's announced lots of places. When does that take place? And you try out jointly together, and you select basketball and football cheerleaders at that same tryout. So when does that take place?
Yeah, we try to have it, depending on where spring break will fall for that year, we like to have it toward the end of March, and depending again on the spring break or the beginning of April. So once we get that in, and a big reason for that has a lot to do with practices start up in April, but then we have to get our uniforms and all the things they need for the equipment-wise, all the things that they need for the year ordered ahead. So it's good to go ahead and get things done toward late spring.
Well, and I know, and I've seen the beautiful girls, and they're all made up with the makeup and the stuff, and they got the bows, the certain kind of bow that look the same, and their hair's all put back really nice and pretty, and people don't think about that. Well, somebody's got to raise the money for the costumes and the uniforms that they wear, and Do you have different ones for road or home, or are they typically the same cheerleading outfit each way?
For my squad, we get one uniform for that year,
Okay.
and then if they want to, we can purchase another one for the following year. I let my seniors determine where things go. We try not to get all new things in the same season. So, for example, when it comes to our warm-up and our shoes and our palms and the uniform itself, they have to make a choice out of those things what they want to bring in that's new, what they want to buy that's new, and then often we'll just do fill orders for whatever the alternative outfit is.
Carrie, do you have captains that lead the squad?
Yes, I have 2 captains, and this year it's Lainey Jones and Autumn Deal. But with the uniforms, we have 2 different tops, and it just depends on if it's not certain to home and away, but they're assigned to just different games, and then we have 2 different bows that go with it. But all the girls have to, they're buying their uniforms, so they do have to do a lot of fundraisers. It does get a little expensive, but with the fundraisers, it helps them out a lot.
And I know that you travel to all the road games well, most of the time. During the holiday break, during the Christmas break, a lot of times you don't, because everybody's scattered here and there and everywhere. But you get down that postseason playoffs, that's when it's really exciting to get to go for either football or basketball then.
Yes, and it's hard if you have a girls' game and a boys' game on the same night. We last year had to split our team up, we were over in White County and here at the same time, so that was difficult, but it was great. The girls loved it.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's a lot more goes into it than just showing up for game night. Like tomorrow night, we went up to Walker Valley, and I know that you'll be up there with your girls cheering them on. I want to thank you both for taking time out of your schedule to be here today on BCHS.TV. Wish you the best of luck.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Everybody stay injury-free. And there's another point we hadn't discussed. I see these girls here with wraps on their legs and knees and sometimes even worse on crutches. I mean, it is a physical activity that they can get injured in.
Yes, yes.
So,
Yes, cross our fingers, no
well,
injuries.
you know, it's kind of a sad story, I guess, but my freshman who, right before Friday's game, was looking up at the stands just marveling, and she said, I'm about to get emotional. Why? And she said, I've been wanting to do this since I was, so young, and since I could remember. She's like, I'm finally here. And then during our pregame, so before the boys even got out there, she sprained her ankle pretty good. So she spent the evening in the emergency room, and she's now in a boot, but it's not broken. So trying to find the positive, it's not broken. I hope that it can get healed as long as she'll take good care of it. But we'll get her back out there because she's got to have that moment.
It's very typical of what can happen.
Right.
It is a very athletic type of event there. Again, thank you for joining us here on BCHS.TV. Folks, you can see all of our videos, not just for the cheerleader sponsors here, but for everyone else on BCHS.TV, on YouTube or on Facebook. Look at BCHS Bear Network, and you can find them there. You can click on subscribe. It's free. In any event that BCHS Bear Network has going on, you can watch those. You can even click on the reminder bell, and it'll let you know when another event is upcoming on the BCHS Bear Network. For Carrie Ivester, Jennifer Moore, this is your host, Gary Ownbey, saying so long, good night, God bless, and go Bears!